Ordered Navajos to surrender by July 20th, 1863. He said, after that date, every Navajo will be considered as hostile and treated accordingly. Carson's soldiers waged war on Navajos in the summer and fall of 1863. They destroyed crops, livestock, and homes.
Carleton and Carson also understood that they were probably not going to kill that many Navajos, that the Navajos would be able to get out of the way very often, so how else would you punish them? Well, you impoverish them. You burn their hogans, you burn their fields of corn, you slaughter their herds if you get your hands on them. You just destroy their property and make it impossible for them to subsist.
Colonel Kit Carson reports on August 19th, 1863. We found and destroyed about 70 acres of corn. 3 hours afterwards encamped in wheat and cornfields. The wheat, about 15 acres, we fed to the animals, and the corn, about 50 acres, was destroyed. This destruction was effective.
Now you can ask the question, is it worse to conquer a people and do it because you believe it's right, or to do it anyway, even though you have reluctance about it? That's a good question, and it certainly doesn't let Kit Carson off the hook morally.
Canyon de Chelly was the Navajo fortress. Spider Rock is home to Navajo deity Spider Woman, who lives atop the spire.
Canyon de Chelly in the Navajo is said to be like our mother. You know, it is often called the mother because it's a place where you seek comfort, where you seek shelter and protection.
Kit Carson's men assaulted Canyon de Chelly.
When Kit Carson and his men stormed Canyon de Chelly, that was the beginning of the defeat of the Dene.
The idea was to make the Navajos run constantly.
And so he embarked on a scorched earth policy a full year before General Sherman led his more famous scorched earth campaign across the American South.
Captain Albert Pfeiffer reports on January 20th, 1864. At the place where I encamped, the curl of smoke from my fires ascended to where a large body of Indians were resting over my head. But the height was too great that the Indians did not look larger than crows. And as we were too far apart to injure each other, no danger was done, except with the tongue. Navajos were starving from effects of the military campaign during a severe winter.
They began rounding up the people in the fall. Some were lured into surrendering by offers of food, clothes, and livestock. So many of us were starved, suffering that year because the Balaganas kept attacking us. Kit Carson and his army had burned all the fields, and they killed our sheep right in front of us. We couldn't believe it. I covered my face and cried. All my life we had sheep. They were like our family. I knew then our lives were in great danger.
This broke the Navajo backbone, and then within the month, a large number of Navajos began to surrender.
Navajos surrendered in large numbers with promises of food and shelter. The United States was embroiled in civil war. General James Henry Carleton had the fate of Navajos in his hands. General Carleton's plan of forced relocation to Bosque Redondo was implemented.
He also believed that he could not protect the Navajos from Hispanic slave raiders if they remained in their traditional homeland. He wanted to take them to the Bosque Redondo so that he could control them, but also so that he could protect them.
Captain A.B. Carey wrote from Fort Canby on March 6, 1864. Since the 20th of last month, 126 Indians have died at this post, making with those just sent to the Bosque a reduction of 2,263 Navajos from the population of this country. This, I'm satisfied, is a larger number than could have been subdued and forced to give themselves up had a vigorous war been continued.
Ishin Tata Jagade and Ocean Doshan. Ishin had that Jagade one to kind of not eat Niljan Ado. Ishin Ado go Kate in the sky.
Navajos were escorted from their homeland. The destination was Bosque Redondo.
There's no place like home.
We were all so afraid of that man, Red Shirt, and his army. Some people hid in the foothills of the Chusca Mountains and in Canyon de Chelly. Our family talked it over and we decided to go to this place. What would our lives be like without sheep, crops, and land? At least we thought we would be safe from gunfire and our family would not starve.
Many walked 350 miles or more.